Yes. So good morning. So yes. So till now we discussed what is process engineering, what is product engineering, then
Yes,
what
sir.
is yeah, then what is design for manufacturing, what is design for assembly, what is design to cost. Now this is another important questions. What are the functions of the product engineer? 5 marks question. Sometimes even it has been asked for 10 marks also. So if it is for the 10 marks, then accordingly you have to elaborate. Many times, even though it is for the 5 marks, the student just write 5 points, 5 bullet points. But if it is 5 marks, it is expected that you have to elaborate and you must write at least 1 to 2 pages full for 5 marks, and for the 10 marks, at least 2 to 3 pages. So the explanation with necessary sketches uh, is required. So here we'll see what are the functions of the product engineer. So this is the title, and these are the sub points, and again sub points also you need to elaborate. And if you want, you can write it down. Now the first function is to design the product for the function. So this is the most important. Like suppose if you are designing a car and you said that my car looks very beautiful, it has ample amount of space. In that you can dine, you can sit, or you can sleep also comfortably. But only problem with the car is that it doesn't run properly, isn't it? Then who is going to take this car? The main function of the car is that it should run, and it should give the basic function of the product of the car. If we talk about car, then the basic function of the car is that it should run. Another, that it should give a good mileage. That is another function or requirement. So you have to design the product accordingly. Like suppose if you are designed a pen, hmm, or a pencil, and then in the pen, writing pen, in this pen there is a camera, and in this pen there is a music also. You can hear the music, you can see the videos. Only thing is that this pen cannot write. Then who is going to take the pen? So this is what the function means, to design the product for functions. Now in this, there are again sub points, like provide the models for the testing. So provide the models for the testing means you can design some prototypes, uh, which can be checked or which can be tested. Of course, not under the full load. Nowadays, this models testing is done using the softwares. You have plenty of softwares available. ANSYS is a full-fledged software for analysis. Again, normally every software they have analysis portion. Like if you are talking about SolidWorks, in SolidWorks professional you can do analysis. Unigraphics also you can do, analysis up to certain limit. So the softwares nowadays help you to do the testing in a risk-free environment and at your comfort. Then in design the product for the function, the another responsibility of the product engineer is to provide the part print. Now part print means drawing, or it is also called as the blueprint. Now you have to see that in part print, it should be complete in all the respects. It should be complete in all the respects means what? You have to give the dimensions, all the physical dimensions. You need to specify the material grade, or not only material grade, but if possible, you have to give the material composition with all the strengths. What is the tensile strength? What is the shear strengths? So all the details of the material has to be given. Not only this, in the part print, you need to give what are the processes that you have thought about, like heat treatment. Like we saw, I show you the two drawings, isn't it? That is ball pillar, that was to be induction hardened. So it was mentioned explicitly. I also showed you this transbearing cage. In transbearing cage, if you remember, there was no uh, heat treatment at all. Hmm. So your part print should specify any heat treatment process, or if it is to be plated, then you need to specify that also, that this component is to be hard chrome plated, or passivation, or zinc plating, or only chrome plating. Then, if possible, the procedure of surface coating, like how to harden at what temperature, what should be the soaking time, what should be the quenching medium. If you are giving that, that is well and good. But if you are not providing that, at least specify that what is the hardness required, what kind of process is expected. Then you need to specify in this part print. Part print is like a Mahabharat or Bible or a Quran, in which you need to give as much as details as you can. So here you need to also specify if the product is going to require any special kind of testing, like say pressure testing. Pressure testing means, like suppose if you have designed a boiler, if your product is boilers, then boilers has to be tested uh, at pressure. Boilers below, yeah, pressure vessels or tanks has to be tested for the high pressures. So if there are any leakages, that you will come to know. So for that, you have to have a testing rig or testing facility, which includes your power pack, air or water or whatever it is. Sometimes soap solutions, all those things. So all these testing procedures has to be made very clear on the part print. Then you have to provide the tool design also. Now here tool design means not only jigs, fixtures, it also includes your cutting tools in the tool design. What kind of cutting tools are required, any farm tools or any special kind of tools are required. If you are going to use any jigs or fixtures, or if you are going to use any molds, injection mold, blow molds for the product, then you need to provide that design also, tool design. Hmm. So in the tool design, you have to provide the master layout, and you need to provide the templates also. If required, you have to provide the models of the tool. See, models means it can be physical models, or it can be your CAD models. So nowadays, uh, the lead time has become so short, so there is no time to make physical models out of wood or out of thermocol. So the one way is that you make the models out of rapid prototyping process, that is very fast, 8 to 10 hours, or you send CAD models. You send CAD models or the PDF of the CAD model or something called the ECAD drawings, wherein you are not giving all the details, but you are just giving the necessary dimensions to the customers. But when it is passed to the production, so that time you need to provide uh, as much as detail as possible. Hmm. So sometimes what happens, the two views or even three views, that is a top view, front view, and side views, are not enough to interpret the drawing, to understand the product. So in that case, if you are giving 3D models, or some prototypes, or actual models made out of plastics or made out of acrylic or made out of wood, that makes the customer means operators understand faster and less chances of mistakes. So that is what in tool design. Then provide specification standard. So whatever standard you are using, that the specifications you have to provide. Uh, so no doubt, the standards are available, but if you are giving the details of all the specification standards, then the customer, now your customer means operators, hmm, who is going to work on that product, those are called as the customers. So if you are giving everything on the drawings, then that reduces the time of the engineers, process engineer, or the workers to go and find the details. So now this is very important step, provide specification standard. So in this, what you need to specify. So you can write down if you have pen and pencil, pen and notebook. So in specification standard, the first is you have to give the material specification. In specification standard, you need to give the first is, you can say here, Roman 1, or small a. First is you have to give the material specification. So in material specification, not only just ENA, but what do you mean by material specification? Here you need to give the chemical analysis and the physical compositions of the components. Like suppose if you are talking about say HSS, or if you are talking about D2 grade, so D2 is a specification standard, but what that D2 contains, what is the iron, what is the carbon, what is the chromium, what is the nickel percentage, that everything has to be given. So that is what is called as the material specification. So material specification is the first point in provide specification standard. Then the next point is, you can say small b here, specification for the processes. That is, if you are adopting any special processes like say electroless nickel plating, or if you are doing some induction hardening, so that specification for the special processes you need to specify in the drawing clearly. So what chemical and physical properties you expect if you are going to do plating. For example, the component to be hard chrome plated. So only this much is not sufficient. Hard chrome plated means what? How much hardness you expect after chrome plating? So let's say maybe say 60 to 62 RC. Then what should be the thickness of the chrome plating? Whether you want 20 micron, 50 micron, or 100 micron, so that has to be mentioned in the drawing very, very clearly. Hmm? Because that again increases your cost. And the more the depth you go for plating depth or induction hardening, the more you have to pay for. So depending upon the application, what kind of application and durability and life you expect of the product in the product life cycle management, PLCM we say, you specify those requirements. That is, how much should be the thickness, how much should be the hardness, etc., etc. So the first point here in provide specification standard was small a, that is a material specification, then small b, that is specification for special processes. Then small c, that is procedures for testing and inspection. So here again you need to give a supplementary information that how the testing has to be carried out and how the inspection is to be carried out under, you know, under what circumstances or under what environmental conditions you have to carry the inspection. See, I tell you, the inspection is very critical if the component to be manufactured, they have very, tight tolerances. Let's say when you are talking about a spacecraft component which is being manufactured in NASA, or the components which are made in BARC, that is Bhabha Atomic Research Center, or the components which are made in TIFR, that is the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. So there the tolerances, some components have very tight tolerances. We talk about say 5 microns, or sometimes even 2.5 microns. So there this matters inspection. So what should be the environmental conditions when you are checking, when you are inspecting the component? Like suppose if you are inspecting the component on the CMM machine, so where you have installed that CMM machine, that plays very important role. So you need to specify what should be the temperature of the room, how much under what temperature you are carrying out the inspection or you are carrying out the testing. Not only temperature, what should be the humidity, what should be the relative humidity of the room in which you are carrying out the inspection. Not only humidity, sometimes even the wind speed, obviously that inspection room is air conditioned, right? So what should be the wind speed, hmm, under which you are carrying out the inspection? So all these parameters. Then आजू बाजू में, near to the inspection room there should not be any welding work to be carried out. There should not be any sudden surges of the current or voltage. There should not be any magnetic field surrounding. All these, affects the inspection, affects the product characteristics or affects the parameters. Even under what condition these products has to be manufactured, that also you need to specify. And such a high precision components are tested 300% times. 300%. The 300% times means like you have manufactured the component, okay, and then that has been inspected. So that is the first inspection. Then you are calling the engineer from customer, that is from the end user, uh, for the inspection in your manufacturing plant. So that is in a CMM air conditioned room. Hmm. That is the second inspection, and then you pack it and you send it to the end user. So at end user site, so we call it the on-site inspection. So again, uh, on-site inspection is carried out. So that's why each and every component, of course, this is applicable when it is very sensitive or very important. So that is called the on-site inspection. So each and every component is inspected. That is what we call 300% inspection. Hmm. So in this provide specification standard, first point was material specification, second was specification for special processes, then third was procedures for testing and inspection. Then fourth point here in provide specification standard, that you have to clearly state the procedures uh, for if you have used any joining processes like welding, brazing, soldering, riveting, then you need to provide the specification for this also. That is, if you are doing welding, then what should be the weld joint, what should be the weld bead, whether the weld joint is also need to be analyzed on analysis software. Then what should be the strength of the weld, what should be the weld material, that is which rod you are going to use, welding rod. All right, what should be the welding current, what should be the welding voltage. So as much as detail, you need to provide. when you are stating joining processes like welding, brazing, soldering, riveting, etc. What should be the rivet dimensions? What should be the hole dimensions? All these things. Then the next point in this provide specification standard may that if there are any threads or gear teeth or splines, slowly you will come to know when I show you the drawings for the gears. So what I was telling here, you need to specify or you give the specifications for the threads, for the gear teeth, for the splines, for the keys, etc. etc. For example, if you are if it is a if some part of the component has a teeth, gear teeth, right? Then you need to specify that what should be the module of the teeth. If it is a gear, then the module is the most important thing. Once you know the module, then rest of the things will come automatically. Hmm. So first is you need to give module, you need to give number of teeth. Then you can find out the pitch circle diameter. Once you know the pitch circle diameter, you can find out outside diameter. Like module is equal to PCD upon number of teeth. So if you give the module and number of teeth, you will get the PCD. Once you get the PCD, then you can find out addendum, you can find out dedendum, you can find out outside diameter, you can find out root diameter, then you can find out the circular pitch, everything. Hmm. So if there are any teeths, then you need to provide these details. Similarly, for the threads, if there are threads, then you need to specify M20 by 2 mm. So 2 mm is nothing but a pitch, and whether it is single start, double start, three start. So if you say it is a two start, then they have to use for the the process engineer has to use the term which is called the lead. Lead is equal to number of starts into pitch. Like suppose if it is two start thread, if it is two start thread, and if the pitch is say 3 mm, then lead is equal to 2 into 3, that is equal to 6. So when you are cutting the threads on a lathe machine, then you have to set the gear train for 6 mm pitch, because um, if it is single start and if the pitch is 3 mm, it means in one revolution the nut will move by 3 mm. But same suppose if it is a two start thread, it means the nut will move by 3 into 2, that is 6 mm. If it is a three start thread, then the nut will move by 9 mm distance. I hope you are understanding. So multi-start threads are generally used. I will take this opportunity to tell you what is multi-start thread, because many times it is asked in the orals. Whenever you want the movement to be done very fast, that time you use multi-start thread. Now when do you need faster movement? Obviously raw material movement. Let's say in pharmaceutical company or in food industries, the food or the powder has to be moved from one machine to another machine or from one plant to another plant. Like in golden tobacco and the chakala. So the tobacco has to be moved from different stages. So there you will find these screw conveyors. So it is multi-started. So the pitch is quite more because the tobacco और जो powder है chocolate powder बोलो और कौन सा भी powder है, that has to be moved very fast. Understand? So you cannot rotate the screws very fast. So the only one way is that you give multi-start thread. So the movement is fast, because instead of giving multi-start thread, suppose if you give higher pitch, see there is two ways. Either you can give multi-started or you can give higher pitch. Higher pitch means say like just now I told that you can give 3 mm pitch and you can say 3 star. So it means movement will be 9 mm. Another alternative is that instead of using 3 star thread, you can simply give 9 mm pitch. But then in this case, what happens, even though you are going to get the movement as 9 mm only in one revolution, your thread depth becomes very high because the pitch is more and the thread depth is equal to you are seen you are already learn thread depth is equal to 0.8 into pitch. So if it is 9 pitch, then the depth is going to be more. The moment the thread depth is more, your manufacturing time is going to be more, and not only this, your shaft becomes weak because your depth is more, thread depth is more. So your minor diameter is become has become smaller. So obviously your shaft becomes weak, and in service, that is during use, there are more likely chances to fail it faster. So that's why we go for multi-state thread. Only the limitation of multi-state thread as compared with the single start thread is manufacturing. Multi-start threads are little difficult to manufacture than your single start. Like suppose if I say I want to machine three-start thread, then there is a special procedure to be carried out. That is, there has to be a feature which is called the spindle orientation. Like you cut one thread first at 0 degree. So you finish that thread, you cut that, you take number of passes, you finish that thread. Then once that one thread is over, then if it is a three-star thread, then the in circumference will be divided obviously in 120 degree. Correct. So moment one thread is cut, then you rotate that spindle by 120 degree and you cut the second thread. Once you cut that second thread, hmm, then again you rotate that spindle by another 120 degree and you cut the third thread. Hmm. So there is a slight, manufacturing uh, twist, I will say, in manufacturing multi-star thread. Slightly difficult than single star. Single star threads are is quite easy, very fast. You can cut it. Hmm. So there were five points to be mentioned in provide specification standard. So I repeat here, that is one is for provide material specification, then provide specification for special processes, then provide procedures for testing and inspection, then provide procedures for specification for joining like welding, brazing, soldering, riveting, and then provide specification for threads, gears, splines, keys also. Whether it is a woodruff key, rectangular key, buff, all those keys you have to, all these specification you have to provide. Hmm. Then next function is to design the product for customer specific satisfaction. Customer satisfaction. And this is the most important. Customer is the king. Whatever customer says, he is right. Uh, Whatever he says, it's right. Hmm. So many times, especially for the childrens or not even childrens also, even for the adults also, uh, the most important is sense appeal. Sense appeal. Sense appeal means appearance. Sense appeal means appearance. How the product appears. In appearance, you can say how color and styling. The styling. Like sometimes the car, you like it when you look at the color, or you look at its style. And you feel like taking that all the fancy items go low. Hmm. Uh, the customer gets attracted because of its appearance, isn't it? That is beautiful color, beautiful styling, beautiful curvatures, radius, contours, forms, etc., etc. Right? Then in sense appeal, you can say, uh, you can uh, most important is definitely this appearance, then some kind of improvements over the last product what you have manufactured or where you have from where you have copied. See, many times what happens in FMCG market or in fashion industries, the continuous improvement is done. Like if you talk about hats, so they will make some smaller changes in the hats, or say bottles, shampoo bottles go low, or anything, any fashion industry. The little improvements are done, and the products are made more appealing. Same is for the mobiles also. Uh, they make it more attractive than the earlier model. So that is what we say improvements, which creates the sense appeal. Hmm. And definitely which makes the customer more satisfactory. Like suppose I'll give an example of say calculators. Many calculators that there are no stand at the back for the calculator, so that calculator is laid flat on the table. So it is not proper because whatever devices you use, that is whether you read or write, it should be kept inclined at a angle of 30 degree, you know so that your neck is not totally bent and there is no load on your cervical, on your spine. So it has to be always kept a little inclined. You cannot keep it flat. If you're keeping it flat, that means your neck uh, becomes almost parallel to the table, and there is heavy load on the spine. So it has to be 30 degrees. So some calculators I have seen that they provide the stand at the back, so that you can keep it inclined, on the table. So that is a good ergonomics. Then next is durability. Hmm. That is how long, what durability means. In another word, you can say that life expectancy of the product. Like generally, if you take a car, we expect life of the car, or suppose if we have a transport business, we expect the life of the car to be at least 8 years, or sometimes 10 years, up to 10 years. 8 to 10 years. That is the durability. If you're talking about shirts, pants, at least my expectations are 2 years or 3 years. In case of young generation, it could be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or sometimes maybe you are 1 or 2 months also. But generally, it can be around, say, on an average, 2 years. Right? Same for the TVs or for the tape recorders or whatever it is. So washing machines bolo, yeah, microwave bolo, or fridge bolo. So we um, expect that the product should be durable or product should run at least for 5 years. So this is what is your durability is. Then you have to design the product. This is what we are talking about, functions of the product engineer. He has to design the product for the cost, and this is what we have seen in DTC. It is designed to cost. Means what, product cost should be low enough to compete with similar parts. Like you have manufactured a card, you have manufactured a mobile, so you benchmark, the cost. So you find out, the similar parts in the market. You find out the similar parts in the market. So what is the cost of those parts? So it should be lower than that. The cost of your product should be lower than the cost of the product, similar product which is in the market. Then only your product will be sold out. So that's what the first point in this was, cost of the product must be low enough to compete with similar parts. Hmm. At the same time, the cost of the product should not be very high. That is, you want say 20% or 25%, or 30%, even though it is monopoly item. uh, so it should be just nice, to make the profit. That is maybe 5% and 10%. So that you have to take care. So accordingly, you have to design the product for the cost. Understand? You should not earn very high profit. At the same time, your cost should not be such a low that you don't earn anything. See, you have to earn, isn't it? That is the basic requirement. But as I said, 5%, 10% is sufficient. You should not go for 25% or 50% of the product. Then, as I told that you have to design the product for the manufacturing, that I already said, for the assembly already said, and for the cost. Another is the another concept of design or the function of product engineering, that whatever you design the product, it should be, as far as possible, should be maintenance free. Maintenance free. Like I will give an example of say ball bearing. Ball bearing earlier, we used to get the ball, earlier the ball bearings were designed in such a way that you need to put the grease inside the balls. That is, you need to open the housing. Suppose if the bearings are used in the gearbox housing, then you need to open that gearbox housing, open the covers, and put grease or put oil in the balls. So this is the downtime, isn't it? So nowadays means how the design was changed. The seals are used. That is what is called the double Z. Like say 63. Suppose how the bearings are specified. Say 6305. So 63 means everybody understands that it is a series in ball bearing. 05 means the bore size will be 5 times of the last digit. That is 6005 means 5 into 5. So 25 will be the bore. 25 is the bore size or 25 is the shaft size of the bearing. So earlier used to get open conditions, but the design was changed so that there are seals from both the sides uh, in the bearing. So they come factory set, factory packed. So in the factory where the bearings are being manufactured, there itself they put the grease and then they put the seals and then patch. So this becomes a totally maintenance free bearings. You don't have to open and put the grease. And then they specify that this bearing should run for so many number of cycles, so many number of cycles, uh, 10 to 9 cycles or uh, some hours, that way. So whenever that much hours are over, then you have to simply replace the bearing because the life is over. So that is what the meaning of ease of maintainability. At the same time, ease of maintainability means it also means that whatever you design should not become obsolete. So in maintainability, there are two things you have to take care. That it should be maintenance free, means they should not be breakdown. At the same time, design should stand in the market for number of years or number of months, maybe for 2 years or 3 years. Uh, it should not become obsolete very fast. That is what I want to tell. So once this is done, then he has to issue. So what he issues, product engineer. So this is again an important questions. Normally asked for 2 marks. What the product engineer issues? So he issues all the part drawings. hmm, In part drawings, there are general assembly drawings and there are detailed drawings. He issues various engineering releases. He issues all the sub assemblies and sub assembly drawings. He issues the part drawing manuals. The most important that he has to write the part name, part name, model number, material, and the release date. This is what is most important. The release date is most important. That is when these drawings are released to the manufacturing. Why this date is important? Because many times once it is released for the production, then there are changes suggested mostly by the process engineer. He, why don't you use this material which is more economical, or since this material is not available, you go for alternate material or processes instead of going for say thread rolling. Why not go for thread milling? So like that, the suggestion keeps on coming, and then product engineer need to make the changes. So this is what is called the engineering change note. See, there are two things. One is engineering release. Commonly, it is asked as what is ER. ER means engineering release. And another thing is engineering change note. That is ECN. So in the question paper, it is just asked what is ECN. So ECN means if there are any changes to be done in the drawing suggested by various, mostly by process engineer, but it can be by anybody in the plant. Then this, suppose let us say process engineer suggests some changes. So he need to write a note which is called as the engineering change note. Okay, and this note is given to the product engineering department. Then the product engineer, he reviews that whether these changes can be incorporated in the drawing base. He has to take the decision. It should not, like, suppose process engineer has suggested further changes, but then whether it is really uh, applicable, whether it is going to damage the function, then only he can implement that changes. Hmm. So then the product engineer will make the change if found suitable. He will make the change in the drawing. He will write a note, revise, revision date on so and so. So there will be then first revision, second revision, third revision, like that. Huh? So there will be a footnote, revision dates करके. And then he will issue the fresh drawing to the manufacturing department. And at the same time, he ensures that he withdraws the earlier drawing. He put a stamp of not in use or stamp of obsolete on that drawing. That is very essential. There is a stamp in which it is written obsolete or not in use or withdrawn. That stamp has to be put on the drawing, which is not to be used. Otherwise, many times it has happened that the old drawings keeps on recirculating in the department. Then coming to the functions of process engineering. So by now you must have become familiar, that what process engineer has to do. Of course, the first important function is that he has to decide upon the basic manufacturing processes. That is, basic manufacturing processes. Uh, you should be very, you should understand. Basic manufacturing process means which gives the shape to the product, basic shape. So it can be casting, it can be forging, it can be powder metallurgy, it can be rolling. So that is what is called the basic, like the ball pillar. The basic manufacturing process will be forging. hmm, will be a forging. Then he has to determine the sequence of the operations. He has to determine the toolings, what kind of toolings are required, what kind of gauges are required, and then he needs to order that. He needs to determine and select the equipments like caption lathe or turret lathe or CNC lathe. hmm, Complete plant equipments, whether some heat treatment, induction furnaces, or powder coating, whether to do in-house or outside. That is what is called the make or buy decision. So make or buy decision has to be taken by process engineer, whether it is to be manufactured inside or it will be economical if he offloads, that is if it gives to the outside. All right. Then process revisions. He has to keeps on revising the process. Hmm. He has to, in the sequence, he has to prepare the operation routine. Operation routine means how the material is going to flow from one operation to the another operation. He has to prepare pictures. Those pictures are called as the process pictures. Again, process pictures, it is asked for the two marks question. What is process picture? You will come to know. So process picture means what? It is a picture in which it is a kind of a SOP, know, in which in pictorial, in the instructions are given in the image form. So it's a picture in which how the component is hold in the chuck, whether it is hold in two jaw, three jaw, four jaw, that is drawn. Then the tool, cutting tool is shown. How the machining is done, that is shown with some coloring. So looking at that picture, the operator comes to know how to machine the particular component. That is what is called as the process picture. So the process pictures is provided by the process engineer and not by the product engineer. It is an MCQ question. Who provide the process pictures? Simple. Hello. Then he has to prepare the tool design. He has to suggest the tool design. Sometimes the tool design drawings are made uh, by brainstorming. That is product engineer as well as process engineer. But the process engineer gives his concepts to the product engineer. Or if there are many changes, or if there are different products manufactured in an industry, then there is a separate department called the tool design department, because the load is very high, so the product engineer cannot go, or process engineer cannot go on designing the tools. They don't have time, so that time there is a separate department called the tool design department, tool design. So it's their duty to design the tools and do the detailing. But of course, the inputs are taken from product engineer as well as from the process engineer, whether to make injection mold or blow mold or transfer mold or compression mold. Then the process engineer has to also, of course, he has to give the instructions to the purchase engineer to issue the POs. He will check everything, quotation. He will check what is written in the purchase order, quantity, then that specification, whether diameter 12 round EN8 bar by 1200 long, whether it is written properly or not. Units, millimeter है क्या meter है, all these he has to check, because purchase engineer most of the time he is mostly from the commercial side, so this care he has to take, process engineer. Hmm. Then he can place the order. Okay, he can suggest the purchase department that go for this party or that party, depending upon the rates and their history. Kiska history, the supplier's history. He can suggest, give the order or place the order to this party. Then again, the follow is not only the duty of purchase department, but it is the duty of process engineer also. Whatever has been ordered, whether he is going to get within the time or not. Are there any difficulties at the supplier end? If there are any difficulties, खाली order किया और 2 दिन में मिला है बस नहीं, there may be some difficulties for the suppliers also. So that also process engineer has to take care. So that is what is your follow. Hmm? That is what is for the follow. Then estimation, as I told, whatever tool design bolo, yeah, process design or equipment design, he has to give the estimation to the management that if you are going to make this product, then this is going to be the estimate for this. Then I need this machine, I need CNC lathe, or I need CNC grinding. So he has to give the estimation for that to the management, and he has to also give the break-even point, that when, like suppose if we have our own CNC lathe, or if you offload for the CNC lathe, what will be the cost, in-house cost, outside, and then accordingly he has to take the make or buy decision. That is what is called as the estimation. Then cost reduction is evergreen process, that is ongoing process, cost reduction. There is no escape from the cost reduction. Continuous, the process engineer has to think continuously for the cost reduction, for the drawing changes. See, he doesn't have, uh, see, as I asked, no, for the 2 marks questions or for the orals also, many times it is asked, who prepares the ECN, that is, who prepares the engineering change note, and who makes the changes in the drawing. So the changes in the drawings are made by the product engineer, but engineering change note, what is to be changed, why it is to be changed, that note has to be given by process engineer. See, that is there is a slight hitch. The drawings are, process engineer doesn't have authority to change the drawing. Let me make it very clear. It is the responsibility, or it is the duty of product engineer only. But the what to change, why to change, when to change, that all has is suggested or is given by process engineer by in uh, by writing, and that is what is called the engineering change note, ECN. Fine.
So,
And process engineer can form
sir,
small. Yes.
sir, you told that this process engineers makes that note, but it's only the suggestion note. No, it's not the final one. No, it will be reviewed by design engineer again. No?
Yes, yes, yes. That is what it will be. It will be reviewed by the circles, studies, study groups or study circles. And if it is found suitable or okay, then only it will be implemented. You are right. Yeah,
And sir, the in this process, ECN is
yeah.
the second step. Now, first step is the design. No, no, no. I didn't get that. Means I have a
What
doubt in means what happens first in time. Product engineer does that first, or process engineer does that first?
what does then
Means change. Means
change? No,
who
no.
comes
The
to know
product
that?
engineer, he has made the drawing and he has issued the drawing. That is what is called as the engineering release (ER). Okay, once it is issued, to the purchase department or to the planning department or to the production department, then everybody studies. Now purchase department will study the bill of material. Then he will study design you have in the bill. See, preparation of bill of material is done by the design department. So moment it comes to the process engineer or purchase, because process engineer is the part of a purchase only, or purchase is the part of a process. When he says, "Arey, this EN1A material is not available in the market, so can you go for other material which is available easily?" Uh, and it also serves the function, but then he cannot give oral instruction, verbal instruction, because we are a certified company, ISO certified company, so he has to write, and that is what is called as the ECN, engineering change note. And then that note goes to the product engineering department, and again it is reviewed there, and then uh, the revised drawings are sent to the various departments. Is this clear?
Sir,
uh,
सर मतलब ईसीएन जो होता है वो अलग अलग रीजंस की वजह से भी हो सकता है ना, मतलब एक
yes,
कॉस्ट
yes.
रिडक्शन के लिए भी हो सकता है, या फिर
uh,
प्रोडक्ट में बनाते वक्त कुछ तकलीफ हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, वैसे भी हो सकता है ना।
Manufacturing difficulty, yes.
ओके।
Exactly. Like you are making some blind hole, so it is not possible. Yeah, yeah, suppose in product engineer has suggested a hole of diameter, say 1 mm. See, 1 mm, you can understand, one size of the hole is 1 mm and the length is say 60 mm, and the material is ms. It is not soft material, so this will be very difficult, understand, no? So you can suggest, means can we, instead of diameter 1, can we go for diameter 2 or diameter 3, which will be possible for drilling? Or suppose cooling channels. So now cooling channels, suppose rectangular cooling channel, suppose if you want to do blind, so it is not possible. So you have to open it from the sides and then plug it. So that changes. The product engineer will be made. Product engineer will made after receiving the suggestions. Yes, Sagar.
Yeah, sir, but product engineer will always consider all these parameters, na? Like you said, 1 mm hole and 60 length, but he is designing, so he is always considering all those
But
parameters and technical
exactly, that's a,
difficulty
but
included.
many times what happen, product engineer he doesn't have this knowledge of manufacturing, and that's why we said design for manufacturing. How your design should be, that it should be manufacturable. But most of the times they are all theory based. They don't have practical knowledge, manufacturing knowledge or machining knowledge or market knowledge. You know that's why they will give use 2.2 mm ka sheet, or 2.2 mm thickness sheet is not available. Either it is 2 mm or 2.5 or 3 mm. So if you are going to use 2.2, so you will have to machine for 3 mm. So nobody will use 3 mm sheet and machine it. So the design engineer has to change his design for 2 mm thickness sheet.
सर मतलब
Uh,
प्रोसेस इंजीनियर फीडबैक देगा ऑन गोइंग प्रोसेस पे, और डिजाइन इंजीनियर अकॉर्डिंगली परमानेंट चेंजेस करेगा।
exactly. Permanent matlab there can be again revisions.
हाँ हाँ
Permanent there can be
Uh,
other revisions. Hmm.
Sir, so from this we can conclude that product engineer and process engineer both have to work together to get a product proper, like finished
Exactly.
product.
Exactly. And this is what is called as the concurrent engineering. This is what is called as the concurrent. Means everybody working simultaneously. Yes, because once the design has been freezed and then it goes to the process engineer and then he will give his then he will write ECN, and then he'll give it to product engineer. So there is a time loss. So in order to, you know, uh, so we should not lose this time. So that's why what product engineer, process engineer, they sit together. Understand? No. So the revisions are made very less. But sometimes what happens? Some points you will come to know while manufacturing itself. Understand? No. But utmost care is taken to avoid many revisions. So that's why they sit together. All right.
सर
Yeah.
सर
Yes.
आपका पीपीटी आपने डाला था क्लासरूम पे, पर सर वो
Yeah.
सिर्फ टर्म्स देख के ना बहुत तकलीफ होती है पिछला सब
हाँ
कुछ याद लाने में। तो आप
हाँ
कुछ
हाँ।
एक बुक सजेस्ट कर दो ना।
ARI, Process Engineering by ARI, EARY.
सर क्या फिर से बोलो?
Process Engineering
प्रोसेस
by
इंजीनियरिंग
Engineering
बाय।
by ARI, EARY, E for England, A
हाँ
for
सर,
America.
समझा
Hmm.
सर। पर उसके अंदर ऐसे थियरी मतलब पॉइंट वाइज दिया है ना?
Like they have elaborated whatever I have said in the lecture. No, they have elaborated.
सर अगर उसमें से आपने असाइनमेंट दिया है उसमें से
Hmm.
अगर उसमें से रेफर करके लिखा तो चलेगा ना?
चलेगा चलेगा. Yes. Correct.
ओके सर।
All
सर
right. Anything else?
नो सर।
We can. Huh? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow again we are meeting at 9 o'clock.
ओके सर।
That's I'm going to prepone because Hitendra sir may not be able to take the lecture. So 11:20 lecture will be taken at 9 o'clock. All right. Thank you.